Hello there, and good morning to you. It's a beautiful Monday, grey, slightly chilly, cold outside in Hamilton, New Zealand this morning, and inside I've got the heater going, so it's nice and warm. So today I thought, well, what's been happening is last week I had a lot on, and I sat quietly for a moment and kind of checked in with myself and recognised what was happening. Now, in the past, I would have gone into incredible overwhelm within it because there was a lot of incoming information. There was a lot happening in the physical realm as well. There was a lot happening everywhere, and so soon enough, when I recognised what was happening, I was able to put myself into a much more comfortable space. And it really brought to me over the weekend in my realisation, and of course this morning, the desire to speak to empaths with the recognition that overwhelm is a strange thing, and yet it's not. It happens to everybody. I mean, overwhelm happens to everybody when there's just so much happening. People experience it in the workplace. I mean, morning Robin, morning Jamie. So people can experience overwhelm just simply in the workplace. In fact, some people can experience it on the road, some when driving in an unfamiliar area with lots of traffic. Sometimes that's a little bit of an experience I might have in Auckland when I'm driving up there somewhere I don't know very well. But overwhelm has this strange thing that occurs within the whole body system. Let's look at a easy to navigate overwhelm. If you ever walk into an airport and there's so much going on, there's so much moving around, there's a location that you've arrived at and let's say you're in transit and you're moving somewhere else. So there's this navigational requirement for you to get from one place to another in a certain time frame, through certain protocols perhaps, or whatever it is. So to stay in a comfortable flow within that space means that the transit's easy. If somebody teeters into overwhelm, it can really rev the senses. So it actually takes a massive control within the physical body system. And of course the mind loses its clarity. At an energy movement, let's say emotion, people may experience emotion coming up, getting upset or angry or teary or any one of those beautiful energies in motion. And then it's very easy to label that as I'm sad, angry, upset, can't cope, etc. Let's bring this more now to the empath, all right? So the empath who has a sense of feeling of, first of all, their own feelings, their own feelings, energy and motion and all of the information in their scope. Hello, Janine. All of the information in their scope. So it's not just the physical body, but it's the emotional bodies or the emotion moving, energy and motion moving, the mental contributions, which sometimes are helpful, sometimes are not. And then there's the sensate, which is not necessarily inside of the physical system of the physical body. So it can be happening outside of the physical body in the actual environment, first of all, of your larger sphere, your larger area, and then in the environment of wherever you're at. Now let's add in another person here. So another person comes into your field, let's call it a field, and let's say they've got a big charge of emotion going on, something that has tipped them into a topo of not feeling so in alignment with a natural flow of ease. And so let's say they're experiencing an emotion that's upsetting to them. An empath will feel this, without a doubt. This is what an empath is, right? He, she will feel this going on. Now, overwhelm occurs when we don't know where we start and finish. Overwhelm occurs when the sensate that is coming in is doesn't have a place that's useful or a useful structure and strategy to move through it. So this overwhelm that occurs for empaths on a regular basis, they talk about going in, I mean, I know myself, going into public places can be very overwhelming. If we're out of our centre, if we don't know where we start and finish, if we've got a low resource within us as well, if we are in a place where our physical body's run down, tired, our mental focus, the mental capacities that have a huge contribution to who we are, or who we are experiencing ourselves as, become a little bit cloudy and foggy. Hi, Sherry. And so this cloudy and foggy adds to the overwhelm, yeah? And then the energy that's moving through our body adds to the overwhelm too, especially if we're getting sticky with somebody else's feelings. So this, when we're in a good flow space and we sense somebody else experiencing a contrast that is uncomfortable, we're able to navigate it easily. However, if we're not in a comfortable space within ourselves, it simply contributes to our underlying overwhelm. And this is something that I first of all discovered in myself years ago, and then have over the last number of years as I'm working more and more with gifted souls, and now with the frequency factor, and working with empaths and sensitive beings who are very, very gifted and have all this feed of information. This overwhelm, and just the word of it, just the label of overwhelm, can feel so debilitating to someone that they tend to shut down, close down, lock up, and want to hide away. You know, that hermit aspect that can happen of desiring to not be around other people because other people are doing stuff to us. Well, I'm going to really challenge that on the basis is that's something to have a look at, because they're not doing anything to us. They're experiencing their own experience, and we are sensing it. So this is the gift, right? This is the gift. Whether we are there for any purpose, it doesn't matter. That's a whole nother conversation to have. Our capacity to be within an easy place within ourselves can make such a difference for our experience of moving around on the planet, yeah, without this sense of overwhelm all the time. Because it was about 4 or 5 years ago that I discovered that was a deep underlying vibration that I had going, is I just flipped into overwhelm whenever I wasn't coping. And I just did this whole strategy around being overwhelmed, and overwhelmed within that space when I wasn't owning it and when I didn't know how to navigate out of it, put me to feeling that the world, I was being done to by the world, not that I was actually moving through the world with this sense of joy. So if you have this deep sense of underlying overwhelm, or overwhelm happens to you or within your field often, I really invite you to connect with me. I've got some really cool stuff coming up. A webinar on Wednesday, which is going to be going into, I've got the name of it as Am I Delusional and Crazy or Cosmically Gifted? Which overwhelm can send us into that questioning space of, am I okay? Is there something wrong with me? So webinar on Wednesday. I'll put the link underneath this video. I'd love it if you join me. Connect in there, or private message me. I'd love to hear from you, especially if this is a sense that you'd like to move through, because I have some really cool options that can help, tips, tools and techniques in some of my groups that I run that offer support for these beautiful gifted souls. Hi Suze, lovely to see you. Hi Jelly. Oh my gosh, you beautiful woman. So lovely to see you here. So has that been helpful in any way? My tongue's getting all full and my mouth's all juicing up, because I love these conversations where we actually speak to some of the truths of what's going on within the beautiful human psyche of these sensitive beings, which is you, of course, that has so much to do here. And first of all, it starts with us, right? So I'd love to hear back from you if this has been useful, if there's been anything in here that you have found a clean navigational tool, or whether you'd like to connect and have a conversation. That would be beautiful. That would be beautiful. All right, ladies, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for connecting. And I'm saying ladies, gents, if there's any of you that listen later, I don't mean to be gender specific. I'm just recognizing the names that come up on here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll put the link below for the webinar. Do connect with me. It would be wonderful, wonderful to connect with you. Thank you, and you live your day without overwhelm. See you later.